Gullah Geechees who didn't want to be called Gullah Geechees, going back reading somebody else's misinterpretation and now using that information and saying, well, no, this is our way. How you know that? Your mama tell you that? Your daddy tell you that? Your granddaddy tell you that? No, I have read it in the book. And because they can perform, they're performing things that really ain't none of your own stuff. So the same thing with Uncle Remus Tales, that's not Gullah Geechee style. When you're reading these books that were written in the 1930s that are so-called in Negro dialect, please stop saying that's Gullah. These were things that were caricatures of people of African descent that other people used to entertain themselves. And now you have some of us going around reading from that as storytellers and saying I'm a Gullah storyteller. It's insulting to people who have fought to hold a language. You heard us mention how important language is and tradition is, because when we were in the crack, we keep like this in school, people to get bad, literal beatings, literal beatings, until you would stop saying certain things in the classroom and say, I don't know to do today, teacher, but why I want that? Look, I want over your what is that? Oh my God. You're an honest student. You have the business speaking that way. You can't get anywhere in life with that. Why are you doing that? Don't try to fit in with your peers. You know, that would have been the reaction. Now those same teachers tell me they have news clippings or scrapbooks of me speaking around the world. I said, why would you do that? They said, why? I'm very proud of you. I said, well, do you realize that when I speak around the world and speak in Gullah, I don't speak in English? Because they could care less about hearing English. They can hear it anywhere in the world. But they care about hearing something they never heard before. Now, y'all think like that. So, they said bend the sack while they're young. So that's why people tried to bend us away from our culture. But God had another plan and bent us all aboard to our culture. And Brother, these words were used all the time. And so I think it's an appropriate segue for you to make some comments. Growing up as a Gullah Geechee man, so all the representatives and leaders of the Gullah Geechee Nation, not all of y'all been a wonder that we got plenty of man. He's just the only man up here right now. Good evening, everybody. I was raised to uplift people. That's how we grew up. And it's just, I'm saying, to have manners for all people, you know. And that's how, you know, I was been around the world, and I did a bunch of years around the world just having manners, you know. Like my people is in rooms. Rooms, people that you know rebel against being oppressed, and a lot of the rules in South Carolina, Georgia, and North Carolina coast. And what some of my people came to me, they used to talk about things from Jamaica all the time, you know. And a lot of them used to talk about being out in the woods, away from the main society. You know, because they living in the woods majority of life. And they have their own language, their own culture, and they could everything fields, you name it. And I came up and stuff was passed down to me, and it became a way of life for me. I've been around I run a school, I run a restaurant, you name it. I'll leave you back here in Charleston. Right now, what I do, I coach. Coach I do is not about the sports, but it's about the life. Because I could tell the kids about their grandma, grandpa, you know. I might see the kids. That's how I remember when I was growing up, I remember your granddaddy home, you know.
satisfactory education and how to return it. So that's how I teach, you know. It helped me to enjoy my life too. So I enjoy my life every day. You know. And I appreciate how life is, you know. And right now, I just have the message that the seminar is screening. She gives you a sense of real mentors, you know, that motivate our youth to be better human beings, you know. So I appreciate looking to everyone's face. Peace and love to you coming out.
So now the whole turn for crack on the teeth this week. Question, comment, anything. Don't go back home and say, oh, I had one question I don't want to ask your business. Got a chance now. Yes, sir. Please tell the family your name and where you come from.
My name is I.A. and I come from Cleveland, Ohio. My question is, as far as like the youth, Gullah youth, there's a large Gullah youth carrying the tradition on today.
Well, you know, one thing I always tell people, if you live something, you don't study it. So all of us, I think, can say we were carrying on traditions, we didn't know that's what we were doing. Because you just live. So to be able to hand shrimp, I didn't think that that's a big deal because you can hand no shrimp. Till I met New Yorkers and they said, how you eat this? Because they ready to cook it with the thing, you're going to stab your mouth. You take that off. How you take that off? Because they weren't used to seeing that. They see cocktail shrimp. You see what I mean? It's already with the head off of it. They don't even think about where's the head on this thing. Alright? And you know, see a tail that's supposed to be fancy. They say we don't keep that, they yank that off, you know. But so there's things that we do and we learned every day just growing up. You know, just being on the porch like this, you know, that you learn about your family, your genealogy, you learn to make cornbread right or whatever. And you don't know it's a tradition. You're just living. So I would say that youth are living the tradition and they don't know they are. And I'm going to give you a prime example. Right here at this center, out in that grass, we were at a festival, had the Gullah Geechee Nation group, and my sister over there, she'll tell you she was right there. The group of youth, they were teenagers, probably 14 to 16. There must have been 10 of them. They come in the waters, we listening to them. Yeah, you better leave me alone. Boy, you fooling it. So-and-so even cracking down. I even know what you're going to do. And this and that. So we listen, we like, go ahead and try. Got it. Right? So they saw Gullah Geechee, the boys said, oh, look. Gullah Geechee gal said, that ain't me. She said, just said, that ain't me. I said, oh, I want to talk to her. Right? So we waited until they got closer. The boys came right to find out what was the book, what is this, and we started talking to them, they look at the books and read it. She's standing off with them chairs. I said, no, you come in. What's your name? Huh? Yeah, that Charleston look. Huh? I said, first of all, you a child to me. Straighten your face. What's wrong? Something wrong with your face? No, ma'am. I said, well, who you is? And she gave me the name. He said, where you from? Charleston. I said, so you Gullah Geechee? You ain't a Gullah Geechee? No. I said, you hear that? Yeah. How you hear about it? My uncle left. Your uncle left what? My uncle a Gullah Geechee. Is it your blood uncle? Yeah. How you ain't Gullah Geechee then? How you be kidding him and do something different? I ain't know. I said, do you realize right now, you ever heard the word before today? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, now get it. Where that word come from? She paused. I said, what language are you speaking to me? English. I said, yeah, it's not English. And that boy said, no, it ain't. I don't tell you that, Geechee. We didn't tell her. And she, boy, shut your mouth on. I said, hold it. But they're telling you the truth. Do you understand who you are? You are Gullah Geechee. She looked like, whoop. She stood there another 10 minutes and all of us started educating her on who she actually is. I said, so don't ever again walk off with an attitude. Dang, that is you. And we heard it before you ever got to us. So here she was living a tradition, carrying on a language that other people wish they not knowing because they're not mature enough yet to recognize it.
And one of the saddest things that I have come to feel, and that is, like you were from Cleveland, you were asking about the youth. African Americans have been taught that we're not related to these people.
Oh, true.
But I'm hoping that we as African Americans realize this is where our ancestors started.
That's right.
And so it's not us and them.
Them, right. So thank you, man. Guess my brother right here.
Totally don't have anything to do with this.
And it's sad. And it's sad. And part of that, and I Kwame back to Holman right now, because Kwame actually has dealt with folks in New York who we've known for over 20 years. When I was in New York running my corporation in New York, these people were activists. I'm not going to name them, but almost every leading black activist that considered themselves a black nationalist in New York, I know them all. They never would say they were Gullah Geechee. All of a sudden, I got in stools. I was about to get in stools. I was brought back to New York to be honored with the Harriet Tubman Award. Elder Carly Tara and her husband, the late Holly Gullah Geechee, who was on our Wisdom Circle Council Elders, he and two of them traveled up there to be there for that ceremony. And when they said, everyone, introduce yourselves, like how I did with y'all earlier. And I stood up and I said, well, at that point, Mark put a good one, but I'm about to be installed as the chief of the Gullah Geechee Nation next week. And so many of you know me because y'all seen the work I do here, but y'all want to know where I'm from. I'm from Town Island in the Gullah Geechee Nation. Y'all I did from the sea island and things like that. So glad to be Gullah Geechee. Sit down. They stand up. We're from Charleston, we Gullah Geechee, blah, 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 blah. Boom, sit down. The next thing, these people were just in black. And I'm a Brooklynite, and I'm a Harlemite. All since I met them for over 20 years, suddenly jump up. I am such and such of the so-and-so movement, and I'm Gullah Geechee. You are? I am so-and-so of the so-and-so organization. I'm Gullah Geechee. What? These people have never given one dime to help us save land here. They will not come down here with any marches or movements. They don't fill out petitions. They won't carry them to their organizations in New York to do it. I'm doing a fundraiser on September 27th in Brooklyn. I'm looking to see the ones that's still alive, whether they show up or not. It was fine that night to be Gullah Geechee. It was safe that night to be Gullah Geechee. But as far as actually coming out front, where life is really in jeopardy, when you up against destructionaires who want your land, they ain't coming down here to march with us. They are comfortable where they at. You see what I'm saying? So when you say the northern faction doesn't want anything to do with the southern faction, one brother runs tours to Africa, been doing it for what, 25 years? Yeah. 25 years. He just told us that he Gullah Geechee from Richland. Promised that we'll then run a bus tour to our festival. I'll pass on that. I'll pass on it. So brother, keep waking them up. Keep talking to them in Harlem and everywhere else you go. My sister?
I don't know if you went to those, but like she said, it's all commercial. This is where it's at. These people are living it, they're showing it, they're here for us.
Blessings. Any other questions? Yes. Oh yeah, the road. I've been to Union. Years ago. I have. Because I attended Clemson and went to Union for a little while and said I would never go back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I'm glad you're here.
And we shared some
Gullah fluently.
Right. We got bits and pieces.
Right.
From people up here. We have relatives that still need to
Mm-hmm.
and some still can't. How can it cost this?
Oh, that is
Oh, yeah.
everybody here wants to say something. One of the things that I know is assimilation. And the further north you go, the more, Queen talked about it earlier, people start assimilating. They don't realize that you got systems that you work in. And some people just cannot accept African system or the Gullah Geechee system. They only think about the American system, which is dealt basically on individualism. They have gotten away from the communal things. So assimilation has a lot to do with it.
What was the question?
She was asking because she lives in upstate. She lives in what we call our country. She lives in upstate South Carolina, so she wanted to know when and how, why the disconnect between African Americans and, say, Gullah Geechee, even right here in South Carolina. Because even in our country, like she said, they have pieces of the language, or they do quilting, they do other things that are similar, say, foodways, but they will not say they're Gullah Geechee. They don't really have that connection. She wants to understand why the disconnection between us.
And I was going to say it's similar to what happened in Florida. You're talking about migration, dispersion, whereas on St. Helena, many of the other islands, proximity, distance, all of that factors in to what you claim and what you don't claim.
Right.
You know, if you can say them because they're fluent in Gullah and you're not, then you can just disown it if you find that to be convenient and to your benefit. Psychology, I know a lot of you are familiar with the book Psychological Chains and Images of Slavery. You know, that determines a lot of what you choose to attach to and what you want to detach from. And if you are properly conditioned, you will get to a point where you're like, well, that's them, that's not me, just like the example that she gave earlier. So it's not that it can't be undone because someone like you and other people go back home and you say, I'm Gullah. Girl, what you talking about you Gullah? You know, this is why I'm Gullah. And you'll start where you are and you'll educate the people in your community and then over time it'll spread. It's not an easy process, it takes time, but just be committed to it. Be consistent and you'll be helping to open everybody else up and re-educate them to what's true.
No, all African Americans are definitely not Gullah. Now, in the South, no, they're definitely not Gullah. Because one of the things that I wanted to deal with was acculturation. So one of the major identifiers that socioanthropologists use is language. Then they use traditions, what they call the tangible and the intangible, and these kinds of things. So when you have history, you have genealogy that dates you back here, brings you back to these Sea Islands, brings you back to Sullivan's Island, brings you back to Charleston, brings you back to Beaufort, brings you back to Port Royal, all those things. You can immediately go ahead and say, I know I'm Gullah Geechee, but I now need to be acculturated in what my true traditions are. Whereas someone else, just because they're African American, has no connection here. They were brought into New York in the East River. So their family was never Gullah Geechee. They weren't the same groups of Africans combined to make a language or foodway. So no, not all African Americans are Gullah Geechee at all. And even in the state of South Carolina, the big issue is a caste system. So the further inland you went, people lived in close, as she was saying, proximity to those who enslaved. As a result, there was a lot more rapes, and there was a lot more exploitation of the female body. So you have people then, like here in Charleston, we have the Brown Fellowship Society. You have people who were considered the mulatto, the octoroon, the quadroon, all these things, all to say I'm not Negro. Okay? But you are, but you're not. But the caste system puts you higher than, say, us right here. No insult to her, but then she could get in some place, the rest of us couldn't. So she might have to go in there and get that job in there to feed us, because we are brothers and sisters. She don't want to be there. But now she has to use it, like she said, because it can make an advantage. But after a while, if she's always around all these other people with a different culture, they speak differently, They act differently, and they tell her that other stuff you're doing is ignorant. And you are educated, that is beneath you. Then maybe she starts thinking that way. So now she starts cutting us off. She don't want to do with us. And that's what happened with a lot of the forced migration of our people being sent upstate Carolina. They became indoctrinated and assimilated into European culture and were told never to maintain, hold the second one, y'all right, the second one, never to maintain African culture. I'm going to give y'all a prime example. How many people saw the film of Soul Destroyed? Don't ask me my age, but I'm old enough to have seen a soldier's play off Broadway. All right, Denzel Washington and I graduated from the same college in fact. Now, when it turned into a Soul Destroyed film, that is one of my favorite films of all times. But it's also one of the most painful films for me to watch every time I watch it, because he said the dead Geechee is dead. The dead Geechee is gone. And he killed that man because that man was Geechee. Because why? He reminded him of himself, but the self he didn't want anybody to know, because they taught him to assimilate. You're lighter, you're better, you're brighter, you can get ahead, you don't associate with them, get rid of them. So the psychosis got to the point of, I can't just deny me, because every time I see you, I still see me. So I got to get rid of you so I don't see you. So upstate, we have a lot of people who are harassed and harassed us. I had a lady who was 79 years old, showed to a standing room only crowd at the Smithsonian when I first spoke there. And that lady said, thank God for you being quick. 79 years old. And I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. She said, I thought your people was a legend all my life. And when I heard of this program, I had to come here to see if you was real. And oh my God, you're real. And I don't believe all my life I thought you were a legend. These people were taught that. So that's the problem, sister. Plenty of Gullah Geechees migrated up where you at. That's why they can say quiet and going over yonder and things like that. But then you say, do you know Gullah? Oh no. What is that? It's here. And that's part of slavery. So it's about you now breaking chains. Because you know better. And when one know better, one supposed to do better. So thank you for bringing your children. Because they know better. Well, I thank y'all for participating so much in the circle. We thought y'all would do a little 15-minute thing. but y'all had a lot on your mind and to get off your chest. But it's necessary. And that's why at this event we usually open up the family circle that way, because you wouldn't know better if we don't sit and talk. And that's the biggest issue in our community. We don't sit and talk no more. We tweet each other and we're in the next room. You got husbands and wives texting each other. Because you in the living room and she in the bedroom, you text her? That is sick. I was at a couple of times and they were doing that. That is sick. So we need to stop and, like the elders taught us, tarry with one another. So I'm glad y'all tarried with us a little while longer so we can have that discussion. And we hope you're blessed by it. And that is